Hello, welcome to the channel, The Dry Omas, the Three Grandmothers. I'm your host, Carmen. I want to remember that my videos have subtitles in English, Spanish, and German in order you can read the content as well. In the last video, we talked about the other history of Alexander the Great that is much older and longer and bigger than the official history books tell us. And however, at that time, our real origins were known. This planet was colonized by many races. The story of the monkey evolution, let's call it story of diversity. But the old conflict between the races lead to the Great Flood. But we survived. We are here, trying to recover what had been lost. Alexander the Great was blonde. He was direct descendant of one of the three grandmothers, the first three Marias, the first three astronauts of the white race. When the white race arrived to this planet, it was already colonized. Let's remember that the previous races that were here, they were already here since 5,000 years. So I guess they have the feeling that this planet belongs to them. And the hostilities started since day one at that time. And we were still one continent. But that is the story that we are exploring in this channel. But I like to say that the white race was born in Mexico, but after years of conflicts, they have to emigrate. Have you been in Mexico? It's a library of all knowledge. We believe that the ships is still there, waiting for the return of the Marias, the return of the first astronaut. These three women died or were killed before the Great Flood. That is why their history was changed into a myth. The goddess of a not supernatural belief, paganism, but they were real. Flesh, bones like us, but another genetic, and they lived longer. Here you can see how old were they when they died, according to our years in this planet. That is why they were considered like gods. They live longer than us. We look like them, but we're a different race. Martha, for example, she was 600 years old. Maria, 900 years old. Margot is not known. But the history of these three women is before the Great Flood or the heat. So we are talking about a period of time of 10,000 years ago. Maybe it's too much, maybe it's not too much, because it's recent of what happened. Where can you read about these three women? In this book, LEENDANIK is a resume of the translation of Alexander Eleazar. This book is public and it's free, and you can find it in several links. In the description of this video below, you can see the links where you can download this book. It's written in Spanish, but with the current technology, you can translate to your language. And I can say this book is it was not direct written by Alexander Eleazar. He was a friend of him after he passed away. what information can be found in this book? The origin of the three races, black, yellow, and white. The War of the Stars, because the conflict between these races start before they arrive here. The arrival of the yellow race in Antarctica. We have a talk that that was the first city. Then with the when the rice with that when the white race arrived in Mexico, the Toltecas, very important. The real Jesus, the one who was born without a male, but the real Jesus was before the Great Flood. The life and the death of the three grandmothers, that is what we are focusing in this video. The Great Flood or the heat, and of course Alexander the Great and the Troja War, because Alexander the Great was in the Troja War. Let's begin with Martha, the warrior. It's the most easy to identify because she's always wearing a helmet and a shield and the fleur de lis. This is the symbols of our first grandmother. She has a lot of names and her legacy is well known around the world with Athena, Minerva, Artemis, Marta Berta. She had blonde hair, blue-green eyes, and she was at least 3 meters high. She was huge comparison with our current height. There is no secret that the white race there are taller in comparison with Asiatic or Latinos. She is the mother of the blonde race. In this map, you can see we still one single continent, and after several conflicts and hostilities, because Antarctica was here, very close to the city of the other races, the capital of the other races, they arrived here in what is today Mexico. And after several conflicts, they split. So in this yellow line, you can see that is the journey of Athena of or Martha. She founded Ireland, Great Britain, Belgium, Holland, Germany, Russia. She died in Russia, what is today Moscow. And when she died, she had in this planet 546. So that is why they were called gods, because they lived longer than us. And actually, the name of Moscow in the mother language or lingua, the language of the sky, means the tomb of the maiden. And Kremlin means Keremelin or Karamelin, the land of the beloved female. The truth is shown in a lot of movies. They put it in front of our eyes. It's like a Easter egg hunt. There is a hiding government, and I guess they enjoy to see us like children looking for the clues, like a quest. Here are some movies that show some aspect and lives of these three ladies. Let's explore some of them. Monster Hunter. This scene is clear how it was at that time, because you can see a blonde, blue eyes with an Asiatic guy. And it was at that time, everything was bigger. big trees, big animals, big dinosaurs. And the already existing race was the Asiatic and black one. And when the white race arrived, they start having contact and they start like the left with the left foot. And the protagonist of this history of this movie is called Artemis. It's like a quest. They leave clues in every movie. There is a specific scene in this movie where the protagonist is tied up, tied by the hands. And there is a Egyptian hieroglyphic which means martyr or martirizatu. And it comes from this word Marta. And it means that represent what happened to this lady. That's the origin of this word. That is why this scene is very significant. That even the focus of the camera to the tiny hands, it's impressive. The next one is the well-known Birth of Venus of Sandro Botticelli. Obviously, she is Venus, but to the right is her godmother. She's Athena, Martha, and of course, this one is Maria. The Judgment of Paris, a beautiful masterpiece of the painter Pérez Villalta. Who is in the middle? It's the most easy to identify. It's the warrior. And my favorite one is this one, Pinocchio by Guillermo del Toro. Half body of a woman, half body of a lion, and the snakes by the side. The scene name is Pinocchio meets the dead spirit for the first time. I really like this movie. In the next episode, we will talk about our second grandmother, Venus, the woman who disobeyed, and I insist the woman who made Valkyrie. She married the snake, but under certain circumstances, an act of disobedience is a must. Until the next time, bye bye.